What's up, guys? Before this video begins, it's a banger. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of information. The videos that I use that you'll see in the background are from NBA and Golden Hoops on YouTube. I just love those two channels specifically because they have the best quality of videos and they get highlights from every single game. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of some info on where they are. Their links will be in the description down below, but I'm sure you guys know how to find them just by looking them up. But make sure to enjoy the video and leave a comment down below based off of what I asked you guys in the middle of the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today is going to be hopefully what is a first of many videos like this on the channel. Today we're going to be highlighting Ja Morant's sports cards and his player potential to an extent, and this is going to start a series where I'm kind of giving a little bit of like my knowledge, I'd say, and above average knowledge, I'd say, for somebody who's into the sports card market. I'm not, 100% confident on Ja Morant's stuff, or I'm not like super well, and knowledgeable, extremely knowledgeable about his cards, but I am, able to look at trends and see what I am encouraged by or worried by. And so today we're going to be highlighting Ja Morant's shot tendency, how that correlates to a win or a loss, and what that kind of is doing with his prices. Now to start, I'm just going to kind of talk about his last 15 or so games. So over his last 15, starting with his most recent game, he's put up, last game he had 14 shots, ended with a win. The game before that he had 15 shots, and they lost. Game after that, or before that, they had 18 shots, Ja did, and also lost. Before that, 13, 8, 8, and 7, all were wins, a streak of 4. Then we went to 18, another loss, 11 with a win, 12 and 21, both losses, and then we have 14, 25, 20, all wins, and then 12, which ends in a loss. Now, what I might have said there makes no sense. I'm reading off numbers. However, for me, as I can look at my notes, I can see a little bit of a correlation between Ja Morant taking less shots and the team coming out with a win. Now, this is super unusual to an extent when your best player is shooting, when he shoots fewer shots, or even when you look at almost a month ago when he put up 14, 25, and 20, and all ended in wins. Some of those games, like for the 20-shot game, he was 5 of 20. Pretty sure 5 of 20. He is not shooting well in some of these games, yet the team's coming out with a win. I didn't look at how close, but I did see some of the games a lot over the past month or so have been close games that they've come out with a loss or a win. But it's extremely unusual that your best player would make less shots than usual or shoot less, and your team would come out with a win. But now that might seem like, to a Grizzlies fan, oh, that's, a good sign. Just have Josh shoot less, be more of like a facilitator, or let the other guys get involved more and we'll come out with a win. But I don't think that's the case, because in the sports card world, assists have no impact on your value. You can look at Chris Paul, one of the best point guards in the league, Russell Westbrook, one of the best point guards in the league. They are averaging around 10 assists per game, yet their cards are not going up in value. Now, James Harden's an exception, because what does James Harden do so well? James Harden could put the ball in the hoop extremely well. And so what worries me about Ja Morant is his three-point percentage, at least, is extremely low. His three-point shot tendency is extremely low. And to be a point guard in the modern NBA today, you cannot be shooting as little threes as Ja does and be shooting them at such a low clip. So for me, as I look at his trends, if you look back to the last I checked, almost a month ago today, March 16th, his PSA 10 Prism base cards. Now, I'm not looking at numbered, I'm not looking at silver, I'm not looking at a super rare card. I'm looking at a card with an extremely high population that has not changed since a month ago due to PSA shutting down and the prices going up, which has slowed the amount of cards being sent in for grading. We're at $475 for a PSA 10. Before that, they were around $500, and they were steady until about, I'd say, a little before the All-Star break, which is when they started dipping down to $475. 6 days later, at March 22nd, we're at 400, a $75 decrease. March 3rd, we're down to 350. A week later, we're still at 350. And then today, April 14th, we're back up to 370. So although he's, going up and down at around like $50 to $20 here or there, give or take, roughly $25 a week, it's not something to be worried about. But what is worrisome is the fact that he has dropped, along with a lot of other players, and the vintage being so popular does impact this, but the fact that he's dropped from roughly $500 for a PSA 10 down to $370 or $350 within a month is extremely concerning as an investor, and it's something that I would be worried about if I have a ton invested into Ja Morant cards. Now, what this might be telling you, however, I do think that's the better investment long term. I do think the PSA 10 base or a PSA 9 silver is a much better buy than a raw numbered. I just think there's no way you're going to find a raw numbered now that's going to grade higher than an 8 unless you found it from somebody who bought it and put it straight into a box and hasn't looked at it. Which makes me think the prices of 9s, such as silvers or even PSA 10s, are going to go up. And I do think they will eventually. It's just a matter of when. Is it years? Is it months? Is it tomorrow? Nobody knows. And so, but what I do think is the price is not going to go up with Ja Morant shooting 12 shots a game and making roughly 5 to 7. It's just, I don't care what percentage he's shooting at. They're mainly two-pointers. He's not one of those players that gets to the line 15 to 20 times a night, 15 to 20 shots. He's one of those guys that's going to get to the line extremely easily because of his athleticism, but he's not going there an extreme amount to where his shots can be so low. And what's concerning is when Ja does shoot more, like 15 and above, if I look back at my notes, the only times he shot 15 above, he lost, and then he won twice. So if you look at that, he's 2-4 when he shoots 15 times or more, and that's in the past month. He shot, in this past 15 games, he's only shot 15 shots or more 6 times, which is extremely concerning as an investor because the Grizzlies are without, debatably, their best player, if not second best player behind Ja, in Triple J or Jaren Jackson Jr. Now, he's a player that is not afraid to get his shots up. He does not care. He can space the floor now. He can go down low. He's going to get at least 15 shots a night. Now, when he comes back, Valanciunas isn't going to get benched. Brooks isn't going to get benched. Kyle Anderson's still going to get his shots up. So what you're going to do is you're going to bench one of those lower guys in the rotation, such as Xavier Tillman, who's not commanding many shots per night, and that's only going to take away from Ja. Now, me personally, I could see Ja's shots going from roughly 13 a night when Triple J comes back to about 8. And although that might help them win, if you have a lot of money invested in Ja and they do not make it in the playoffs or he doesn't shine, your value is going to tank even more. Now, I'm not saying you guys should go and buy him or sell because I frankly don't care what you do. I'm just trying to warn people on something that I'm afraid of, which is I think Ja's cards are going to tank even more. And I think this offseason, I would not be surprised if I could find a PSA 10 Prism at roughly $250 to $275. Now, I think it's difficult for it to go that low because of how much money people have invested into it, and they say, I spent $500, I just can't let it go for under $300, and I can see the value staying there, but I do not see many being sold every day. I think there's going to be a lot up for buy it now or best offers on eBay, and I don't think you're going to be seeing them sold every day like you do with Zion or Luka, and I think that's concerning. As from somebody who's a buyer mainly, I would advise some people to look for lot prices. I think those are the smarter move. If you can get in this offseason after the Grizzlies are eliminated, because let's be real here, they aren't making it past the second round. If they even make it past the first round in the playoffs, if they can get in, there's no way the Grizzlies are going to win the finals this year. They just don't have the depth. They don't have the players healthy enough to win games like that, which is why I think it's a smarter buy this offseason to be buying Ja in hopes that he goes to the gym and just specifically works on his three-point shot, because his athleticism's always going to be there if he doesn't get injured and tears like an ACL or MCL. Ja could be one of the great point guards in the NBA if, and this is a big if, he can learn how to shoot the three ball. Because right now, he can't shoot it, and he's not shooting it, which is a very high IQ play. A lot of players, like you see Russell Westbrook, a guy basketball players do not sell. Chris Paul, one of the best point guards in the league, doesn't sell for anything. You can go and find him anywhere for a good price. Graded, of course, because it's so long ago, it's going to be a pretty penny, but, raw and anything that's not like a PSA 10 is going to be extremely cheap. And so, unfortunately, I could see, and by no means am I comparing them, I am fearful that Ja is going to be a similar Chris Paul. But somebody that draws an even more better comparison is Russell Westbrook. And I see Ja being a player extremely similar to Russ because what do they both do? They attack the rim. And they're super athletic to where they're either going to dunk on you, get fouled, and make it, or go to the line, or make it easy too. So, and Russ does that a lot, and he does that extremely well, which is why he's one of the great players. But you combine that with great vision, and what do you have? A walking double-double or triple-double in Russ, but his value does not increase because players like that double-double does not always make your team win. And I think unless the Grizzlies can find a way to build a better core from somebody who just shoots to shoot, as in Dillon Brooks, or a guy who's going to play at his own pace and shoot extremely inefficient shots, as in Kyle Anderson, are guys that are not going to help you make a deep run in the playoffs, nor are they going to help you win a championship or even make a run in the regular season. Which is why I do not think this is the time to buy Ja Morant. And I could be totally burned looking back in this in a few years, but as of April 14th, 2021, Ja Morant, and I repeat, Ja Morant is not a buy. And I don't think he's a sell, to be honest. I think you're in a very tricky spot to where I don't know what you should do at this point. I think you're better off holding him or seeing if you can trade up if you have a huge collection. I think you're smarter to try and trade for that Silver Prism numbered from, and I don't even think Chronicles is a buy because there's so many numbered products. I think numbered selects are a smart move. I don't know if he has a jersey match in select, but I know his blue to Prism, he does have one, but there's no way you're finding one of those for less than $3,000 to $4,000 to $5,000 for a raw. So good luck there. And I don't think that's a smart buy because it's going to grade most likely a PSA 6 to 8, which is only going to hurt the value. And you're not even going to be able to sell or send to PSA, which is why I think, Ja Morant's almost in purgatory right now for collectors, and collectors are in that spot because they're extremely, he's extremely hard to assess, and you don't know on a daily basis whether he's going to shoot 2 shots and a half. Because in the first half of many of these games, he is not shooting but 2 to 5 times, and then he's having to force shots. It feels to me, and they're going in. Don't get me wrong, but I do not think he's making the smartest decisions on a half-to-half basis, which is why I don't see the Grizzlies making a run. I don't even know if I see them making the playoffs this year. I feel like a team like the Pelicans could get lucky, but I feel like a team like the Spurs are just head and shoulders above because of their veteran leadership and their great coaching, to where, I feel bad almost if you're a huge Ja collector because his prices have just been on the decline for close to a month now, and it's hard to assess whether or not you should sell or hold. And for the past 4, but he had a 4-game stretch where he was shooting less than 10. So I feel like he's a player that's extremely hard to assess at this point in his career, and he's a player that I would make sure to watch because you could find some for extremely cheap if you get a good deal. And Ja's a guy that's going to make his team win, but it's a question of, are the Grizzlies going to be able to put the right guys around him, as in good shooters, that can make a deep run to the finals? And that's something for people to think about, and I wish you the best of luck. Any collectors or any guys who are trying to get into the market right now and buy Ja because he's a great player, he's a fun guy to watch, and I think you should take extreme caution. So if you guys have any questions on anything I covered, make sure to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think, and if you leave a like if you really like these types of videos, and I will make sure to get another one out in about, I'd say, roughly a few days or so, because these are going to take me a little bit of time to get up, because I'm going to have to look for the right stuff to accompany this little recording. So I will get another video out as soon as I can, but make sure to leave a comment on what you think about this type of video, and if you guys think Ja Morant's a buy at this point. I will catch you guys in the next one, and I'm most likely going to be talking about Zion Williamson next, because he is one of my favorite players. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.